Every new day marks a new beginning. High in the most remote reaches of highlands, a life begins. Between these tall peaks, the lake lies silent and still. It betrays nothing of the world around it, full of dangers and predators. This world has a lot in store for me, just as I have a lot in store for it. A Diabloceratops emerges into this world, young and vulnerable. This little Dibble will look a lot different than its siblings. Today, my little Dibble defied the odds, and I unlocked a rare genetic mutation. This mutation is called melanistic. While so young, I rely on my parents for food and for water. Their safety and protection doesn't last long, however, and soon it's time for me to leave the secluded safety of this mountain. This location gives you the chance to be nested with another mutation, going by the name of Son of Icarus. This is due to the location being the highest on the map, so it was important for me to climb down safely. Being melanistic gives me no good advantages in terms of stats. In fact, it makes me a target for jealousy. As I ran down this mountain, I seek safety from my siblings. So, on my way to get food, when I spotted a sibling, I of course tried to join them. Little did I know they were not in the friendship type of mood. Though I've spawned in hundreds of times, this is actually the second mutation I've ever unlocked. So in this moment, I chose not to mess around and find out. Instead, I ran for the hills and called out to my parent, begging them to help. I don't think this little hot sauce chicken nugget chasing me was in a playful mood, and when they heard my parent thundering through the grass, they made a run for it. Luckily, this little Dibble didn't bother me again. As I made my way towards the patrol zone, I realized maybe the mud might give me some safety. This way, I could disguise my coloring and keep from being singled out from both predators and siblings alike. Little did I know things were not going to get any easier for me. Unaware of lurking danger, I made my way towards some food. The scurry of footsteps alerted me to danger. In my panic, I became stuck in this block stance, and then struggled to efficiently turn to face my attacker. Running wasn't going to work. Killing, that might work. My life quickly became a routine. I would first eat diet, and then quickly rush to this patch of gastroliths in order to lower my stomach. Maximizing diet was going to help me grow quicker, and the quicker I could grow, the quicker I could defend myself. I had friends now too. Zombie loyally guarded me as I took a drink. From being attacked by siblings to being protected by them, I was quickly feeling a lot more safe in my new home. The shadow of night was soon falling over this valley that we called home. Here and there, we bumped into friendly faces, and I was growing quickly. But those large, protective Dibbles did not hang around. The only thing that remained was the shadow of night. There was still plenty of food, and though the Dutz diet spawned somewhat infrequently, I managed to score some for myself, and thus I continued to grow at a steady rate. Visibility continued to decline. In the darkness, creatures lurked. In the distance, I heard the murmuring of Sarah's. I warned my siblings before moving towards deeper brush, but nature doesn't wait. And though my heart hurt, I hoped that my larger companion could fight them off alone. I wasn't big enough for this fight. I had too much to lose. So selfishly, I slunk away. Silently, I crept into the bushes, and one by one, my family members fell. Zombie fought till the end, but it wasn't enough. All night and into the next day I waited, mourning the loss of my companions. I was all alone now. No one to protect me. No one to distract my enemies. Time doesn't wait. I had a lot of growing to do before I could get my revenge. I wanted to become something that could fend for itself. A life where I could take my stand, and others could hide. And so I stayed up high in my bushes. I continued to eat and to grow, because soon I would be the one on the hunt. Finally, I was feeling a little more confident. I was putting on weight that I was ready to play around with, though I still wanted to be cautious. Kanos mainly rely on running, so if I hung around the mud, I wouldn't be in danger. That's when I spotted another herbivore taking a drink. The day was bringing many new faces to my area. Unfortunately, this other group of Dibbles was full, so I became sort of a protector for the younger ones. I even found another melanistic Dibble rolling in the mud. Though he looks like me, he doesn't actually have the mutation. He just got it from his parent. So if he logs out, he'll look like a default skin again. They were all a family, which truthfully was making me a bit sad about my family, who had been lost. Though I was becoming used to my solitary lifestyle, and I was quickly becoming a guardian to those smaller than me. These little Dibbles were actually my siblings, from a younger litter. Their parents had logged off almost before feeding them completely, so it was a miracle they made it down here and grew enough to eat before they died. I was quickly developing a soft spot for them. Though new life was springing up around me, Highlands wasn't quite safe. I still felt that I had a lot to make up for, a lot of bad deeds to put right, so I instructed my small companions to hide, while I made myself the target. That didn't mean I was going to make things easy. I pushed my rear end right up against this cliff formation, making it almost impossible for the Kanos to bite me. Eventually, though, I heard one near Silver, so I rushed out to protect them. My inexperience was showing, but I couldn't let another sibling get hurt. I couldn't let what happened to Zombie happen to anyone else. Luckily, that's all it took to persuade them to leave. But danger in this world didn't just come from the carnivores. Narrowly, I had spotted an incoming charge from one of the other Dibbles and avoided them. I never did see that Dibble again, though as night drew to an end, I spotted a weakness, a lapse in concentration, a moment I could take advantage of. These predators had terrorized Highlands enough, and though his friend tried to warn him with a tail bite, he didn't see me coming, till it was too late. With one hurt, I knew I could track his blood trail. There were other Dibbles around to protect the young ones. I felt I had a calling, a duty to fulfill. I wasn't going to stop my pursuit until one of these Carnos was food for the roaches. Little did I know where it would lead me. By the time we had made it halfway around the lake, the blue Carno was still bleeding, and when I sniffed the air, I noticed I could smell something in particular. Nesting materials. No wonder there were so many small Carnos about. They were nesting. This had to stop. As I made my way towards the center of bones and nesting materials, more and more Carnos made themselves known to me. When all of a sudden, a new threat made itself known. An adult stego was on my tail. I didn't really want to share my fight with a steg, nor did I want to trust it enough to get within swinging range. This steg soon made its intentions known. Instead of following the Carnos, it began to follow me. At a sprint! That's not something a friendly herbivore usually does. So for now, I put the Carnos out of my mind, and made distance my priority. Luckily, stegs are quite slow, so after making my getaway, I ate some food before returning to my fight. I wasn't done. I hadn't forgotten. I still had scores to settle. As I rounded this corner, I intended to attack a full-grown. I hesitated, for in my way, there was a small baby. No longer were they in my way. In this moment, I realized there were 4. Pack limit on Petits is 3 for a Carno. But I wasn't scared. It seems I had some population control to dish out. Now, I'm no Dibble master, but let's just say utilizing your sprint slides are one of your best methods for catching opponents off guard. The group backed off, perhaps realizing I wasn't such an easy target. But they weren't done trying, and neither was I. Out in the open, I had to keep my eyes in every direction. Akano's best weapon is to distract. Whenever they think you're not looking, they'll attack. Use that moment. With their pack reduced to the correct size, they chose to retreat. I followed them for some time, tracking their blood, their despair. Their nesting site was now my territory, and I had sent them away. And with that, I felt victorious. I knew that I could eat in peace, that my new family would now be safe. Or at least, that's what one would have thought. But upon my return home to the more populated part of Highlands, I encountered Akano being jumped by a Hera. Perfect. I would chase him while he was bleeding, and deal some extra bleed of my own. I even encountered little Silver out here in the hills. I followed the blood trail, and it led me down, out of the steeper parts of Highlands and away from the lake. Little did I know, passing through the scrap of bush, that the Kano was hiding just to my right. I had walked straight past it. Unlike a carnivore, there was no way for me to track direction by the footprints left behind. And though I wandered, I never did find this Kano. I didn't feel the need to attack such small, defenseless creatures, especially when they were asleep at the keyboard. Honestly, no survival instincts at all. Survival instincts of a damn fart in the wind. We made it all the way to South Plains, and though this is usually one of the busiest areas on the map, today there was no action. We didn't see anyone, and so I decided it was again time for me to log out. Well, we did see one creature, this little stego, who clearly wasn't very satisfied with the spot they had spawned in. I soon sent him straight back to exactly where he wanted to be, which is the menu. Not sure exactly what the plan was there. But anyway, I logged out without another issue. The next day I actually stored my dinosaur and then used the voucher in a new Dibble's nest in order to move to EU. NA was fun and all, and had much better ping, but due to the time I get online, there's usually a lot more players active on EU, which is why I tend to play there more often. I honestly don't think this worked out in my favor. Maybe I should stick to the lower ping. Moments after spawning in, I spotted a bunch of Sarahs overpacking. Pack limit is 4. So I chose the biggest one and dealt out some of my rage upon them. The little ones didn't get a break either. I hadn't forgotten what had happened to my younger siblings, and so I was down for some shenanigans. I wasn't necessarily trying to KOS them. I initiated the fight, They seemed happy to continue it. At any point, they could have continued running farther away. Every time I stopped and turned around, though, they hung near. Clearly, they wanted to try. After dishing out some damage and chasing them in circles, I realized this little raptor was sneaking around me and picking them off. I did make sure to try and take some shots at the raptor population as well, but it's kind of difficult considering how speedy and tiny they are. So for now I chased this big one, trying to give him the message that I wanted him to leave. But every time, he would hang around on the edges. Every time, someone would come back for more. In this moment, I was feeling confident. I felt as if these plains were my territory, as if I could go on fighting forever. But weakness has a cost. To engage one battle is to endanger the next. So, although I felt at the top of my game for now, things don't always stay the same. One must remain vigilant. I couldn't just let this raptor continue doing whatever the hell it wanted, so I decided to chase it off, just to make things clear that he wasn't with me. I also had it be known loitering was not allowed on my territory. For a while, I chased them in circles, but eventually, I decided enough was enough. I went to go heal, eat my fruits, and let the little scavengers devour the leftovers. Karma has a way of reminding you what your deeds cost. Every ruler gets challenged. Every crown eventually falls. I had gone unchallenged for long enough. In the end, in order to master anything, one must have experience. And so an experience I was about to have. Through the long grass, in the early morning light, two Ceratos approached. Though nervous, I met their challenge. Only prey animals run, and I'm no prey. I showed them my soft side to lead them in, all while keeping in mind my new sliding moves. Ping wasn't going to make things very easy for me, nor was the fact that I was mildly panicking. Well, I guess that's how it ends. After all that, I joined my siblings in the Cerato's belly. But I learned a lot, and maybe on my 4th try of Dibble, I'll master it. For now, if you like, leave a like, and subscribe.